women into uncontrolled hysteria, who prey upon the innocence of children.
Shocktails with Johnny Thunder.
I wonder if it isn't all a dream, a nightmare.
He's the safe space to my snowflake. Except we aren't the new warriors, we're the old warriors. It's our master of ceremonies, Johnny Thunder.
You know, what's so funny about that is, like, you know, you saw that headline and I was reading all about the new characters. No, but dude, even like the other one, it's like Screen Time or something. And I was like, you know what that goes back to? Like when they made Dazzler. Like she was like the disco mutant. And she had like roller skates and like the blue makeup. And then even like DC it was the 80s, they had Vibe. He was like this like skateboarding, like, you know, like rap kind of like dude. And it was like, Jesus Christ, it's so dated. Like all of those kind of things were so dated. So it's hilarious. And I saw that headline. I'm like, I'm sorry, they're called what? And the other dude is like Screen Time. And I'm like, what?
So, hey, I understand PA's on full lockdown over there, but I hear the liquor stores are still open, so you're probably pleasantly sedated.
What I like is what's hilarious about this is it's like, you know, for years and years and years, everybody accused me of just being like this fat, lazy, fat ass because all I want to do is like lay around the house and watch movies and read and drink beer. And now
you're saving the world.
I am a responsible citizen. I am single-handedly ending COVID-19 by being a fucking lard ass. So in your face, everybody.
Yeah, you're like a superhero, man. You're freaking
right.
Yeah,
lard ass.
You're saving humanity.
You know, but you know what's cool about this too for you? I mean, you've been social distancing from women for like years. I mean, you don't even need the 6 feet. It's been like,
dude, I was way ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. There is no danger of your junk getting near any woman within 6 feet, let alone, 20 miles. So, speaking of which, I've also read the STD rates have been going down.
See, I'm wicked smart.
I hope this is over soon because it's really, really effing up all of our good times.
Yeah.
It's
such a downer, man.
Yeah.
Such a buzzkill.
China is asshole.
All right, so what are you drinking on your side of the bar, Genius? Right now, I'm drinking a big cup of my own piss. So, what about you?
You know, I'm gonna milk this for all it's worth. So, I'm drinking Coronavirus Extra.
Oh,
yes, it's Coronavirus Extra, bottled in Wuhan, where the locals go batshit crazy for this brew.
God.
Please drink in moderation, as it will take your breath away. Coronavirus Extra. Find your bitch.
Jesus Christ. There's a couple things, the only thing I'm going to mention is because a lot of the times I talk about comic books, and because of the current health crisis and because of everything that's going on, Diamond Distribution, which basically has the complete control of American distribution of all comic books, has announced that after, I think it's early April, they're discontinuing all services to all the local comic book shops. So it's a little concerning because, even as of this week, my comic book store has obviously been declared not an essential store. So they're trying to figure out, I had to contact them. I bought some gift certificates online. The owner was going to go in, mail out my comics to me, and try to make that work as long as we can. Now, like I said, as of early April, Diamond is not shipping any more product. So even if DC and Marvel still continue to ship, there's no way to get it to the local stores. So again, one of the unintended, losses of business that, maybe people don't really think about is going to be the comic book shops might be gone.
Yeah.
So now does the industry now go, oh, hey, we're going completely digital? Are the days of the floppies and the trades completely gone? Is everything going to be an online delivery platform? Nobody knows. I mean, we're like really in uncharted waters right now. So, I wanted to talk about a comic book that's going to be coming out, but I'm sort of like also, hey, right now, I don't even know if this thing is going to be coming out. So this book is called and I'm only going to say it once in case you want to bleep this. I'll say the full title once, and then I'll use an abbreviation later. It's called Dracula Motherfucker from Image Comics. Okay, this is coming out. It's supposed to come out on Halloween, actually, and it's kind of cool. It's a graphic novel from Alex DeCampi and drawn and colored by Erica Henderson. So it's going to be a split story. It starts off in 1889 Vienna as 3 of Dracula's brides pin the vampire to his coffin. Then it skips ahead to one of my favorite time periods, 1974 Los Angeles, where this young actress resurrects Dracula, and the only person that knows what's happening is a crime reporter named Quincy Harker. But nobody will believe him that there's now a vampire loose in Los Angeles in 1974. So if it kind of sounds vaguely familiar, it's kind of the plot to Blackula, Blackula Scream, maybe even Count Yorga and the Return of Count Yorga. But the author, she's already said that she's a huge exploitation and blaxploitation fan, and the colors are wild and crazy. So it's kind of going to be an homage to all of the best exploitation from the 70s with Dracula. So again, look for that probably in October. If not physically, then on the digital platforms. One other thing I just saw when I was like trolling through my phone just to try to find some content for the show. Did you see they announced last month Universal's looking at making a movie out of Monster Mash? You know, of course, the big song Monster Mash. They want to make a musical based on Boris Pickett's song. So there's no details about the plot. There's nothing about it. I know the director is apparently some sort of award-winning video director. So I don't know if this is sort of going to be the Glee version of Monster Mash or what the hell it's going to be about. But
holy Jesus.
That's something to look forward to or to dread. I'm not sure which one.
Horrible.
It sounds craptacular, but you know. I think we have a couple reviews this month, right? You saw one movie, I know, but did you watch anything else?
Did not.
Okay.
I did see Color Out of Space. So
okay, we're going to end with that one because by then my voice, if you hear it, it's already shot, which I don't know why. But we're going to do reviews of The Invisible Man, which actually is also now on demand because of the theater shutdown, which is another thing we should talk about. AMC and Regal Theaters have all shut their doors. Again, does the movie industry survive this? Is this a push, again, much like the comic books, where you think about, is everything now just going to literally be a digital platform? It sucks.
I like going to the theater. I don't go often enough, but I do. I've always enjoyed just going and sitting in the theater and watching movies. Well,
especially you and your, rain jacket sitting in the back row with,
my waifu. Else. Me and my waifu.
Oh, Vajankle, we love you. So we're going to do The Invisible Man. We're going to end with Color Out of Space. But first, I got a review of a flick. It's not necessarily horror, but it kind of falls in that exploitation, grindhouse kind of vibe. This is called VFW.
Oh, Lord. Oh, there you go.
You've been at this, haven't you?
I have?
Uh-huh.
2 of us. Still here.
Still here. You know where you are, kid?
In the VFW post. How about we close the bar down early tonight?
What do you got going on?
The best birthday that Freddie ever got.
Lizard! Hey, this is girl!
It's Q&A time, kid. See, the problem is that me and my old friends are probably going to die tonight unless you help us out to understand what's happening here. You steal this?
Foz killed my sister, all right? This, though, it's all he's got his whole life.
VFW. What is that?
Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Good. Soldiers are good at dying. There's only one satisfactory solution, and that is we get our product back, and each of you die.
You were a soldier. So are we all. Let's act like it. We set a perimeter. We make our stand.
You'll all die very, very slowly. You last.
But whatever you're gonna do it. Because you make a mistake, I'm gonna cut your heart out.
You and me both know this ain't the only option. We can push Miss Teen USA right back out to the way she came in. It's for you that we're doing all of this.
Hey, I never asked for your goddamn help, Gramps.
The second you walked through that door, we was duty-bound to help you.
Let's go. Anybody else want to come in my bar?
So this is about a group of war veterans who have to defend their local VFW post and an innocent teenager against a deranged drug dealer and his relentless army of punk mutants. Yeah, sounds like fun, huh? This is actually a really, really fun, over-the-top, kind of just balls-to-the-wall movie. It knows exactly what it is. It's, maybe think about like Assault on Precinct 13 mixed with maybe a little bit of The Crow, kind of how it's like kind of the future, but not really the future, but not post-apocalyptic, just shitty Detroit. Maybe with a little bit of Escape from New York thrown in, but again, it's not post-apocalyptic. It's about all these vets who are at the like I said, VFW post, and there's this sort of this drug that has taken over society. The group leader who runs the drug dealing in town is in this building right across the street from the VFW. So it's like the whole town's been taken over by these, again, they said, punk mutants. I thought like monsters or zombies, but they're just sort of like, just even think the gangs maybe in like Frank Miller's The Dark Knight, like just sort of these like neo-future kind of punks, and the drugs kind of give them a little bit of super strength, almost like they were like, on like some kind of a super meth thing.
Hell!
But it's basically what it is. It's almost like a zombie movie. The dudes are hanging out in the VFW drinking. Chick across the street steals the leader's stash of this like super crazy high value drug, hides out in the VFW. The gang knows she's in the building. The vets have to protect the building and kill all the punks to save themselves. So there's a lot of gore, there's a lot of shooting, there's stabbing, there's killing, and it's really awesome. The cast is fantastic. You've got Stephen Lang, William Sadler, Fred Williamson, Martin Cove, George Wentz in it. So you've got a lot of like really, really good people, and it's actually pretty well acted. What's nice is they know what this is. It's just an over-the-top kind of action flick. And I was never more entertained. I even texted you like, holy shit, like I just saw the greatest movie. It was just so much fun. It sucks, dude.
I'm like, awesome, I'm watching it tonight. And I went in, I checked in, logged into like my Apple TV, and it says, for rental on the 31st. And I'm like, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to once it's the 31st, it's like, wait to watch it, because it does look pretty kick-ass. So it has got a very grindhousey feel to it.
Yes. Nice. Like, even like I said, like Hobo with a Shotgun, or even like you said, like, Planet Terror, just this real over-the-top kind of 70s, 80s throwback. But I was entertained. Like I said, if nothing else, it's entertaining. Doesn't reinvent any genre, kind of apes from the best, but it was a lot of fun. So I really, really dug that one. Now, moving on to another movie that I did see in the theater before they closed down, but is now available via online platforms because of the current situation, is Universal's new version of The Invisible Man.
As the attorney representing Adrian's trust, I'm required to read a prepared statement. Cecilia, although our relationship was far from perfect, I thought that you would talk to me rather than run away.
Are you okay?
Open the door!
What happened to him?
He cut his wrist. Per his final wishes, you're getting $5 million. Contingent, of course, on the fine print. He can't be ruled to be mentally incompetent.
It just doesn't make any sense.
What?
Adrian wouldn't kill himself.
Listen, you're getting your freedom back, okay? Don't let him haunt you.
Hello? I'm scared.
You don't have to be scared of him anymore.
He was a sociopath, completely in control of everything. He said that wherever I went, he would find me, walk right up to me, and I wouldn't be able to see him.
Are you okay?
someone sitting in that chair. I found something that can prove what I'm experiencing. You need help. Adrian is dead. I went to his house today. He's not dead.
I have a pile of ashes in a box that would disagree with you.
He has figured out a way to be invisible.
Only thing more brilliant than inventing something that makes you invisible is coming up with the perfect way to torture you, even in death. Adrian's true genius was how he got in people's heads.
Don't come any closer. Hey!
I'm not crazy. Please listen to me.
You're saying the person trying to kill you is in the room right now, but we can't see him?
He's listening. Where are you? Where are you? Show yourself! Come on! Do it! There you are.
So the plot basically is when Cecilia's abusive ex takes his own life and then leaves her his fortune, she suspects his death was a hoax. Oh no, that's the worst kind. As a series of coincidences turn lethal, Cecilia works to prove that she is being hunted by someone no one can see. So this one, I think I'm in the minority on this one because most reviews I've seen have been overwhelmingly positive. I get how Universal's look to not necessarily just do a movie about the Invisible Man where there's a mad scientist and he goes invisible and, and this and that. And, because we kind of had that with the Hollow Man a few years ago. So this take is basically not about the Invisible Man because, frankly, he's not really in the movie, although he's integral to the entire plot. Now, again, is that also a play on the idea of the Invisible Man? Meaning he's not in the movie, but his actions and what he's done affects everyone else, including his wife, who is, for all intents and purposes, the star of the film. To me, it's a little over 2 hours, which at certain points felt very long. I would say the first hour or so, and again, I'm not trying to be... I don't know how to put this, insensitive or, unkind, but it almost felt like it was a Tori Spelling sort of Lifetime movie. It really focuses on this battered woman, and it's her story of surviving a terrible marriage. So it's almost like the ultimate stalking. It's the ultimate gaslighting by this manipulative ex-husband. And there's the brother-in-law, and she's being manipulated. And, of course, everyone thinks she's crazy because she's convinced that the dead husband's really alive. And her sister gets alienated, and the family that she's living with, who includes a police officer, alienated from her. And it's ultimately that everything is taken away from this woman, and she's really destroyed. So then all of a sudden there's sort of this twist, and then there's another twist, and then they sort of introduce the sci-fi element of the Invisible Man's costume, and then it sort of ends, and I'm like, oh, it's over. And then there was sort of another ending, and then I think there was another ending, and I'm like, is this movie over yet? Like, it just seemed like they kept tacking on endings, and I'm like, they didn't really know how to end this. So in terms of an actual horror movie, I know I've seen a lot of people say, the psychological aspect, the suspense, again, the torture exhibited by the lead character. I get all of that. And for the most part, I thought it was well acted. Elizabeth Moss certainly does a good job. But, I get that they try to invent something new. They tried to reinvent the idea of the Invisible Man for 2021. They tried to do something different, not basically what it was, but there's really no connection beyond the idea of invisibility to the novel. There's no real connection to the original film except a last name, Griffin. So it was okay. Like, I didn't leave there raving about it. I wasn't necessarily mad that I went to the theater, but I don't know that I would see it again. So it was a mixed bag for me. I mean, I've seen a lot of people really, really praise it and really dug it. So if you kind of want to check out a modern, different take on the familiar tale, go see it. Or, check it out online. But if you're expecting sort of a traditional horror film version, this is going to disappoint you. So, again, it's unique, it's different. I just didn't really dig it. But anyway, so now let's close out this wonderful, wonderful segment with one final review, Color Out of Space.
Look at this.
All those years in the big city, we finally got out. We're living the dream.
Maybe.
Then everything just blew up. Big flash, like a pink light. Or actually, I don't even know what color it was. It wasn't like any color I'd ever seen before.
Looks like a meteorite. You mean it's radioactive? I mean, it's from space, right? Meteorites are generally no more dangerous than ordinary rocks.
How can something that big just disappear? Did you plant those?
No.
Ward, you come here for a sec.
Oh, God.
What are you doing?
Shh.
It's talking to me.
Who's talking to you?
A man in the well.
It's in the static, it's in the moisture. It's in here, is out there. And what's out there is in here now.
Everything's under control.
Why are you so in denial? That thing from the meteorite changes everything around it.
It's just a color. But it burns.
Do you believe me now?
I don't know what I believe anymore.
Of course, Color Out of Space is based on the H.P. Lovecraft short story starring Nicolas Cage. So basically, short version, a secluded farm is struck by a strange meteorite, which has apocalyptic consequences for the family living there and possibly the world. My take was, I kind of had a problem. I didn't leave satisfied after watching it. I can't say that I would recommend it. And again, I feel like I'm in the minority on that one. The problem with trying to adapt any Lovecraft is the fact that so much of the dread is existential and is supposedly so unfathomable to the human mind that we cannot comprehend what is even happening. This idea of this dread and the just the fear of the unexplained and that which we cannot articulate and we cannot quantify. Once you try to quantify that on film, invariably you will disappoint a certain segment of your audience. So when you try to personify the color, you try to quantify the terror, beyond using fuchsias and purples and blues to sort of personify that and then have that come alive in terms of the fauna and infect the flora and then infect the fauna, it invariably will sort of disappoint some people. The Wiccan teenage daughter, while I certainly understand that she is to be the human counterpoint to the alien infection of the earth, because she is apparently worshiping the earth and she's in tune with the earth. And then you've got this perversion from space that is destroying not only the ground, but the water and the plants and the animals. I get it, but it was so on the nose and it was so obvious. And as you said, trying to cater to this like hipster kind of audience. I thought she was irritating and poorly acted. I thought this teenage son was irritating. I thought the little boy was irritating. The mom, I felt bad in the sense that I think she was trying to give this understated performance, but also just came off as uninteresting and sort of a wash rag and didn't do much. Now, Cage always has a tendency to go over the top. Now, in my mind, Mandy is a classic from last year. I thought his performance, that film, we never talked about on this show, but Mandy, if you haven't seen it, to me is one of the quintessential best Nick Cage over the top, insane acid trip, sort of doom metal horror exploitation film just channeled into this giant cacophony of madness. So if you haven't seen Mandy, go see that. I love that movie. Here he's going for a little bit of a different character, which was odd and came off as really strange. And the fact that, while I understand they had to play up the idea of, again, livestock, because they have to have them perverted by the alien infection, the llamas, we have to go get the llamas. Did you let the llamas out? Can we let the llamas out? Did anybody watch the llamas? I raise llamas. And it's like, okay, we get it. There's llamas. And that was just to set up this mechanical set piece at the end of, they've all been fused into this giant effing monster, and now there's ugly giant llama monsters. You know what I mean? It just felt so forced. If it was just, hey, there's llamas in the background, there's cows, or whatever the hell you want to have as your livestock, I get it. But really weirdly acted. Even, was it Tommy Chong out in the woods? Yeah. I thought was just sort of over the top and irritating. The college student who, portrayed the water surveyor, which again should have been the main focus of the movie, sort of became this vaguely uninteresting love interest for the Wiccan teenage daughter. And the authorities were idiots. The mayor was an idiot. And I just lost interest. I think Lovecraft best lends itself to a period piece. If you've seen The Call of Cthulhu and some other things that have been done. Of course, there's been other modern takes which have been fine. But I would have just gone in a different direction with this. I would have eliminated the daughter character. I would have focused more on just sort of this straightforward, the inspector comes to town, and maybe it's almost more like a Twin Peaks kind of situation where there's just sort of this outsider comes to the town and the town's already sort of guarded. So in the sense that they're already concerned about an outsider being in town, coupled with this insane event from space with these strange mutations to the ground and to the water and so forth, I just would have taken a different approach in the adaptation. So now I will say, though, I thought visually there were some very interesting elements, and I thought there was a very nice look to it. As we said, though, I don't think that you should quantify such existential horror in those terms. But it was, certain scenes were nice to look at. I was like, oh, that's pretty. That looks cool. Oh, those pink flowers are kind of cool, and that's kind of cool. But I
had some decent practical effects.
Yes. Also, I also would say to that point, if you want to do a smaller budget film of an adaptation of Lovecraft, what would best serve this? Sort of the off-screen horror, right? You think about some of the best X-Files episodes, or you think back to some of the films of like the 30s and 40s and even 50s where the horror is off-screen. Yeah, so the reader or the viewer has to use their imagination and fill it in. So that becomes a subjective experience. Just like the Lovecraft, if you're reading it, your take on what they're seeing or what they're experiencing might be different than mine, is different than our neighbors, is different than your other neighbor who's 6 feet away.
All right, man. So what else?
Well, listen, go wash your hands. I've been touching my microphone. I'm afraid I'm getting something.
Go wash your hands after you have to wipe your ass with your hands because there's no more toilet paper.
All right, man. All right. Well, listen, stay safe, all right?
I will. And you do the same.
Damn it.
And the bug-out bag is still ready to go to PA anytime, so.
Oh, okay. Note to self, move in the middle of the night. All right, listen, everybody. All right, as always, thank you for listening. This is Johnny Thunder saying stay scary, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
I'm going now. Heavens help you.
Please like and follow the podcast. Stalk us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Links in the description. And help us by sharing Hauntcast with all your haunted Halloween brethren. Until next time, stay scary.